What is up, world? BakermanBrad here again, and I have another Fractured Space video for you. The guys there wanted me to show off a couple of the other spaceships that they got there, so we're going with the Brawler, the Colossus, and the mighty, all-powerful flying 2x4. I'm just kidding, it's a Gladiator, which is still pretty cool, but let's get to it. Alright, to start us off, we're going to go with that Gladiator flying 2x4, and it's actually got a pretty unique loadout. It has one of the only broadside style primary weapons, and so you actually have to be very specific in where you place yourself whenever you're attacking other opponents. So the Gladiator is really set up for defensive type of gameplay. It's got some other things. Of course, it's got its missile barrage, it has proximity mines, and a phalanx armor, which is a shield that really helps you out whenever you are being attacked, because it'll boost your attack speed and reduce damage, but you have a huge speed loss, and you also get a rotation buff. So it's definitely one of those hit and miss. You gotta really weigh the options there. Now, as for the Gladiator, when you're in the game, the really big issue is being very vulnerable from far away. The amount of accuracy you have with your broadside is rather limited. You have some pretty good range, but the thing is, targets far away don't have to worry about it because they see the whole broadside coming at them. And another trick about this is that the broadside area of your ship is exactly where your weakest armor is. So it is definitely a double-edged sword here, where you have to be careful that you don't let them stay there too long, but they have to be there to be shot, because all of the other abilities, except for your rockets, are kind of stuck to a very limited range. You can't shoot up and you can't shoot down, and so if someone gets underneath you and flies away, you're kind of stuck. However, like I said, as a defense post, you pretty much can lock someone down, crank on your phalanx armor, boost your attack speed, and just annihilate someone who feels that they just decided to run up and right in front of your broadside barrage. Kind of like Nightmare Moon here, who is now toast. So that's pretty much the role for the Gladiator. I would not suggest using him for anything else. I'm not kidding. So, with that said, let's move on to the next one, the Brawler from the USR faction. And this guy is pretty much straightforward. You know what he's going to be doing because of his name. He only has two different things for the loadout, his auto thumper and, well, shotgun thumper basically. So this guy is all about getting into the fight and ruining people's day. So he doesn't have very many in terms of weapons, and so he's got his primary fire, and he has a secondary fire mode, but it's really for a conjunction with his 2 ability, Harpoon. If you harpoon somebody as you're trying to chase them down, you can either pull them in from wherever they're at to attack them, you can pull them out of wherever they're hiding, or you can basically keep them locked down. And I can tell you this much, when you activate the harpoon and bring someone in and they're trying to go away, it's going to piss them off royally. So, do it a lot. It's really, really entertaining, especially whenever it's something kind of like this, where they don't have any options, and you pull them all the way to you. Now, you also have a fighter barrage that you can send out fighters. It's a little bit different from the missile barrage, obviously. And then a concuss, which actually really messes with the systems of any opponent. So after you drag them into your AoE, hit that one, and then depending on if you go auto or shotgun, whichever flavor you like, just unload on them. Now the good thing is, with the Brawler, if you find somebody who is medium to low health, you're pretty much going to demolish them. So that's your target, and that's all I gotta say about the Brawler. Now, before we move on to my personal favorite of what I've experienced, I've got to mention that there is one thing I've noticed about the system here in Fractured Space. After you unlock an item with the experience that you get from each faction to either unlock ships or loadouts, you actually have not purchased whatever it is that you unlocked. That's right. You have to unlock it with the experience and then purchase it with credits and or platinum, which I'm going to be honest, I could see that being a really big hiccup for some people, and I personally hope that it gets tweaked a little bit to where it might stay in place, but that the, I guess, amounts of credits or whatever it is that you're needing to use to purchase the items is reduced significantly, or maybe you get a huge boost to whatever credits you get. But one way that you can get a bunch of credits is with this Colossus, the USR Colossus. From what I've seen, this guy is a beast. And so the loadouts for the USR faction seems like that's the ones that have the most in terms of variability so far, from what I've seen. And you have a flak cannon and then a flak plasma blast. But he also has the missile barrage, where you can have several different versions of this little angel wing kind of burst, or a circular shot, and then also a dorsal shot. So it all depends on how you want to position yourself against the enemies. Now, the big thing about the Colossus is it's also a heavy defense, just like the Gladiator. However, this guy can go in and really mess up all the other plans of whatever the other team's got going. You can go in, like right here, to a failed 3v2 that turns into a 3v1 and win. You can soak up an unbelievable amount of damage. And then at the same time, if you're within range, you can then dish out just as much as you're receiving. That's the crazy part about this guy, is that you just keep on taking the damage and dishing the damage out. It also has a fighter barrage and missile barrage, like I already mentioned, but the fighters can be changed to slow drones or plasma drones, which will affect enemy opponents depending on which one you pick in a different light. So if you're going to go out there and purchase a new ship, I strongly suggest getting the Colossus for your first new ship. It can just really change the things. It's inexpensive, and then you can go out there and earn a crap ton more credits, because you can go and kill 3 people right off the bat, just like this, and actually get credits for takedowns. You can actually then get in the game and get captures and last longer. But with all that said, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys choose your favorites. But other than that, gamers, I'm going to tell you to get back to gaming, because those ships aren't going to unlock and then purchase themselves.